So today in this video, I'm going to talk about how to stop your husband from being disappointed when you say no. More specifically, I'm talking about when you say no to sex because that's what I usually talk about. But this could be for anything when you say no to family vacation or say no to making dinner or anything, no to an exciting adventure that he wants to go on when you say no. So this is kind of a bait and switch kind of deal because, drum roll please, maybe you could hear that, maybe you can't. You can never make anybody feel or not feel anything. So you cannot do anything to make or not make, I'm just saying this again so it's really clear, anyone feel or not feel anything. Your husband can't do that to you. You can't do that to your husband. You can't do that to your children, your coworkers, or your friends, your neighbors, or your family. Nobody. Everyone is responsible for how they feel, their emotions. So if you can't really do that, then what can you manage instead? Well, typically I would go straight into communication skills for the male brain. And that works really well when we're talking about helping your husband not feel defensive, or helping your husband not feel like a failure, or helping your husband, yada, yada, yada. Disappointment is really just a reaction from somebody making a boundary that isn't really in alignment with what you want, right? Disappointment was just like I wish it was something else. And if you're making a clear boundary, like saying, no, I don't want you to touch my breasts today when I'm doing dishes, or no, I don't want to have sex tonight, or no, whatever it is, that's a good thing. I don't want you to stop making healthy boundaries. But what I really would like to help you with is the guilt that you're feeling when that comes up for your husband. When I survey and talk to women again and again, this is what comes up a lot. I don't want to disappoint my husband. I don't want to disappoint my husband. Wonderful, Rachel, thank you. So where was I there? It was really good. I don't want to disappoint my husband. Your husband will be disappointed at some point in your married life. You, I'm sure, are disappointed at some point in your married life. You might be disappointed that you didn't marry someone who loved to do laundry, or disappointed that your husband can't cook a good chicken breast, or that, this is really stereotypical, you're disappointed that your husband doesn't like to go to the swimming pool with you. So that's a normal and regular thing, and it doesn't mean that anything really bad is going to happen. So let's all collectively take a deep breath, and we're going to let it be okay that our husbands are disappointed. It's okay. Now, the really big thing, why this becomes so scary to just be okay, Janna, you told us to feel zen, and this is really tough, I know. The really big reason why it's so hard for us is because women's core fear. If you know the women's core fear, you're going to be shouting this aloud right now, Janna, it's this. Often when I say the core fear of women, I get a big portion of the women saying, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's me. But then when I take it down a layer and take it down a layer and take it down a layer, we find out that that's what's existing at the bottom. And of course, you do you, but for the majority of women, fear of abandonment is really at the core of all of our fears. I fear that my husband will feel disappointed by me because then he will not want to spend time with me, then he will not want to hang around me very much, then he might leave physically or emotionally. Now, I think women fear more the emotional leaving, the emotional abandonment than anything else. It also kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, ties into our fear that we're not good enough. So we don't want to disappoint anybody because we want to be We want to be all of it. We want to be super women. We want to be these sexual superstars and these chefs that can just whip up a nice quinoa salad or moms that can juggle everything. Hi. So it's okay if your husband gets disappointed. You cannot stop anyone from feeling anything. And the reason why the sense of disappointment is so scary for us is that core fear of abandonment, and then the secondary fear of not being good enough and not meeting his needs properly. So what can you do then when you've made a boundary and your husband is showing all those signs of disappointment? Heavy sighing, retreating, complaining, asking why. There's all sorts of fun things he could do. And what do you do then? Well, the first thing you do is you allow yourself to sit with that uncomfortable feeling. And that is something that is at the core of good communication. I just figured this out with a client this morning as we were having a good conversation about this. So being able to sit with that uncomfortable feeling of your husband doing his thing and you feeling like it's all your fault, you feeling guilty, you feel like he's going to emotionally abandon you. You probably aren't intellectually thinking that. So just sit with the uncomfortable feeling. Just let it be. Just let it be there. We're told so often to just push things away. Don't feel those things. Make it better. Be joyful. Be happy. Fix it. Find a solution. But in this moment, you really are sitting with that uncomfortable feeling, because if you don't, you're getting all up in defensiveness. And you're letting him have his own experience. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that multiple times. Let him have his own experience and you can have yours. And the second thing you need to do after letting yourself feel that uncomfortable feeling, maybe just breathing into it a little bit, is taking care of yourself. What do you need? Do you need to go for a little walk? Do you need a breather? Do you need to talk to a friend, not about your marriage? You aren't going to be backbiting or gossiping or creating disunity in your relationship. We don't want to do that. But just have a good conversation, drink a glass of water. What do you need to just break free of that pattern of him feeling disappointed and you want to fix it? Get defensive. I hope that helps. I hope you aren't mad at me by the title. You guys know I love a good male brain communication tip. You know I love that. But when it comes to disappointment, you just got to let them do their thing and let them have a moment. Let yourself have a moment, and then you can circle back and maybe revisit it if it seems like it's the right thing to do, or just move on and know that life is, when you're married, you are going to disappoint each other. That is just the natural fact of it all. I would love if my husband liked to wear nice clothes. It's just not part of him. So I am disappointed that I didn't marry someone who likes to take care of his appearance. He's got all sorts of other great qualities, but I can be disappointed, and it's not something that he needs to fix. So I hope that helps you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later.